December 1st, 2002, Dilawar, a young Afghan taxi driver, took 3 passengers for a ride. He never returned home.
When the sun started to go down, the sand started blowing. So it was like a big dust bowl. And I'm thinking, boy, is it going to be like this every night?
I remember walking in there for the first time, and the smell is the first thing that hit you. Being from D.C., if you've ever been to the National Zoo, when you walk into the elephant house there, that's the best way to describe it.
After the invasion of Afghanistan, U.S. forces occupied Bagram, an old Soviet airbase, as a place to collect and interrogate thousands of detainees captured throughout Afghanistan and Pakistan.
These were suspected Taliban. They were being caught by special forces throughout the countryside, brought to Bagram to be held, interrogated, determined if they were a high-value prisoner.
These were not nice people at all. They were very evil people who, definitely violent intentions.
On December 5, 2002, Dilawar, the taxi driver, was brought to Bagram. He was designated a PUC, person under control, number 421.
He was something to do with a trigger man for a rocket attack, and that's about all I know.
5 days after his arrival, he was dead.
I would say this was around about 0500 in the morning. And as I walked by Dilawar, I think that's his name, Dilawar. I walked by Dilawar's cell. I noticed he was just kind of hanging there with his head down, but he was being too still to be, just hanging there and sleeping. I didn't know whether it was an injury that was aggravated by something or whether he was just sick coming in.
They were very frail people, and I was surprised that it had taken that long for one of them to die in our custody.
A preliminary investigation into Dilawar's death revealed deep bruises all over his body, but did not conclude that his treatment at Bagram was to blame.
The next day, they said, just draw out how he was shackled up here, and I made that little, crude drawing. The ceiling of these isolation rooms was just a simple metal grate, and it was thick enough you could put handcuffs, through the wires of that, and you just kind of chain them up like that, out to the sides like this.
Forced standing for long periods had inflamed tissue damage from blows to Dilawar's legs. But the initial Bagram press release failed to mention overhead shackling or beatings. It declared that both detainees had died of natural causes.
My opinion is that the military wanted to get this over and get this done quickly before it really got noticed.
Soon after Dilawar's death, the officer in charge of interrogation at Bagram, Captain Carolyn Wood, was awarded the Bronze Star for Valor. Following the Iraq invasion, Wood and her intelligence unit were given a new assignment: Abu Ghraib.
The only thing I can really remember about Abu Ghraib was the heat. It was like 148 degrees or so there, and it was all concrete. Abu Ghraib also had the infamous torture chambers and stuff left from Saddam's era. I remember walking through those and seeing like fingernail marks on the walls and blood stains and guillotines and stuff like that. It was a pretty surreal feeling.
People were being told to rough up Iraqis that wouldn't cooperate. We were also told they're nothing but dogs. Then all of a sudden, you start looking at these people as less than human, and you start doing things to them you would never dream of. And that's where it got scary.
It was only the night shift. There's always a few bad apples.
It's been a body blow for all of us.
This is clearly an isolated incident.
The conduct of a very, very small number of our leaders and soldiers.
In the wake of media attention surrounding Abu Ghraib, the military began a series of investigations.
The people who engaged in abuses will be brought to justice. The world will see how a free system, a democratic system, functions and operates transparently with no cover-ups.
The Secretary and others have said, well, you know, we've conducted 12 investigations, each and all of which were geared to looking downward, down toward Lindy, England and Grenier, and not looking up.
I can tell you we set the same policy at Abu we set at Bagram. Same exact rules. Same thing was going on. And they wonder why it happened.
In her sworn testimony about Abu Ghraib, Captain Woods said she felt pressure to produce intelligence. So she brought unauthorized techniques, dogs, nudity, sleep deprivation, and stress positions, to Abu Ghraib from Afghanistan. Wood maintained that the Bagram model had tacit approval from superiors, but U.S. Central Command had never responded to her requests for authorization.